Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Be Her with Shalon. We are continuing our solo mom series where we are talking with different solo moms about their journey of and their experience of going through life being a solo mom and how that's impacted them on their journey and everything. And so today we are welcoming Amanda to share her story with us. So thanks for being here, Amanda.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm grateful to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you on. So why don't you tell everybody where you're from right now?
Okay. Well, I'm from Southwest Missouri originally, born and raised in the area. I currently live in Southern Arizona. I moved there about 2.5 years ago as like almost turning 40 and just wanted to try something different. So I packed up me and my daughter and we moved to a place where we knew no one and never had even visited Arizona to try something new.
Beautiful. So is your daughter older or younger?
She just turned 15th, the
Just
beginning of April.
okay, love that. That's exciting. Teenagers are fun.
Yes, for sure.
Do you love having a teenager or not, or like not so
I
much?
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
She is special needs, and so she's more on an 9-year-old level.
Okay.
Um, and so it's been really beautiful. We have a really great relationship, and I love being her mom for sure. It's way different than raising boys because I also have a bio son who's fixing to be 21.
Okay.
And I also have a bonus son from my second marriage who's about to be 23.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Very different than boys they are, I would think, right?
So different. Yeah, for sure.
That's exciting. So what do you do now? Or
Well,
you just taking
I
care of
call
your daughter?
myself, yeah, I
Okay.
call myself an energy artist. I pretty much do whatever comes my way, in a beautiful way. If it brings joy to me, I do it. I do it joyfully. It's all word of mouth. I never advertise anything. My energy alone attracts everything. And so I've done everything from nannying to dog walking to house sitting. I recently traveled to Colorado and helped pack somebody up and pack up their house. And I'm going to be traveling again in a couple of weeks to bring back a car for somebody. So I kind of just do a little bit of everything. I used to be in the corporate world for a while, about 8 years, and then I became just cleaning houses and just doing things more freedom. As a solo mom, you
Mhm.
kind of need that time frame. You need to be able to be there for your children when you can and not have to be like tied to a 9 to 5.
Absolutely. It gives you the flexibility to be able to do what you want when you want, as well as being able to like pick and choose on what that is, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I love that you like call it like what I was thinking when you were talking was like a joy seeker, like just only doing things that bring you joy. And I think we
Yeah,
need to do more of that in our lives in general. Like not
I
like
agree.
as not just with our occupation, but like in general, like only doing things that truly light us up and bring us joy. Because I feel like we just get so, caught up in the rat race of everyday life that it just doesn't we tend to like, not look for those little bits of joy here and there, right?
Yeah, we're here to enjoy our life. So I
Hmm.
just do things joyfully.
Hmm. I love that so much. So you said that you were married twice, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And so do you care to share a little bit about like your
Yeah.
marriage and how that went and stuff?
Of course, of course. So I was young when I met my first husband. I was 17. We got pregnant unexpectedly when I was 19. And I come from, my father was very religious. And so it was kind of like shotgun wedding. You have to get married and not have a child out of wedlock. So
Right.
I rushed into a marriage, not really probably wanting to, but I did. Um, and we were married for maybe like about 2 years before I kind of got like my wings and was like, listen, I don't want to be tied to this for the rest of my life. And So, after emotions and everything went away, we really co-parented really well and became really good friends for our child's sake, my son. Um, Shortly after, about a year later, I met my second husband and fell madly in love, and we were really good friends. And we tried to conceive our daughter for about 4 years, and finally, after a little bit of help, we conceived her, and it was really lovely. And we were married for 14, or we were together for 14 years, married for 10. And I had my awakening is what I call it. My Jesus year. I turned 33. I had had two miscarriages in that year. Um, and I had a radical hysterectomy because I had dealt with some female problems before that. And it threw me into like, what are you doing? I wanted change. I had outgrown old versions of myself.
Mhm.
And I realized I didn't want to be on the same loop ride anymore. Um, it was a situation on my 10-year wedding anniversary, actually, that the same thing happened from my wedding night. And it involved casino and gambling and crying and emotional
Yeah.
turmoil. And I decided to walk away. And
Mhm.
so I became a solo mom for the second time at 33 or going on 34. Um, and yeah, it was 2020, right before the COVID. I went
Mhm.
to go, I moved 4 hours back home and decided to hit the ground running. And I stayed with my mother at the time for a few months to only realize I did not want to live with her. And I decided
I-
to like just figure it out, you know. COVID was a beautiful blessing for me in particular, because I was working in a small coffee shop at the time. And because my daughter, they had no school, they were paying us like the unemployment, right? In the US here, we had like 600 a week. They were paying us unemployment. And I saved all that money and I was like, bought a camper, uh, remodeled it. Me and my daughter, we moved into it. Did I lose you? I might have lost you, girl. I lost you for a second.
Okay.
It was still
Sorry.
recording and I
Sorry.
was just talking. I'm like,
Just
did I
technical
lose you?
difficulties. It happens.
It happens. I was still talking, so the recording's gonna have me
Okay.
just
Good.
blabbing.
That's okay. That's good.
I love it. We're just
Oh
rolling
my
with the
God.
punches, girl.
That's literally how we
That's
go
just
here.
solo life, solo
Anybody
parenting
who's
life.
been anybody who's been listening to my podcast knows that there's technical difficulties and we just roll with the punches on how things go because that's just everyday life. That's how life operates. Like I
Yeah,
was recording the podcast the one night and my daughter was trying to call me about 3 times. I'm like, oh my goodness. That's just how it is, right? Like there's disruptions and we just work
yeah,
through it and go through that and everything. But I'm sorry, continue your story, my love.
yeah. No, no worries, no worries, no worries. So I bought a camper, is what I was saying, with the money from
Okay.
the COVID.
Hmm.
And I bought it and I remodeled it. I took about 3 months and I gutted it, remodeled it. It was a fun experience for me and my daughter. It
Hmm.
was our tiny home. And we lived in it to just survive, and have our own little space. Um, I was really grateful for a friend and I rented some property from her, put in a septic tank, did all the things. And me and my daughter lived there for about 2.5 years. And it was a really beautiful experience. And we got really close. And I wasn't like dating, but I kind of was seeing some people and I met this guy. And so we ended up getting a duplex after that. And just to realize that that was kind of a domestic violence situation, and you just kind of learn. Like I had been raw and new to the dating again after 14 years, and I just realized that sometimes we it's the balance between being a parent and being ourselves can really like be hard to navigate, like
Absolutely.
where does your love life come in play versus the love for your child? And um that was a big learning experience for me. It was about a close to a year and a half worth of an experience, and after I decided to leave that relationship, that's when I decided to pack up my car and move across the country
Mhm.
and try something new. And
Mhm.
we actually lived in a dome style yurt tent off grid
Yeah.
for 6 months in the desert where I knew no one, never had visited. We had solar panels and water, tanks and composting toilet. And I wanted to show my daughter that you can do anything you set your mind to. There's no
Mhm.
limits. Like, what's the worst that happens? We moved back to Missouri, and now we've been there. Yeah, a couple months past 2 years, and we just love it. It's been quite the experience. We have a casita now, so a little apartment, and we've lived in it for almost 2 years. And we're just learning and growing. And like you said, it's going with the punches. Like you don't know until you know. And you got
Mhm.
to try it, and you're going to fail and you're going to struggle. And that's just part of life. But um, doing it shows me like how powerful we really are. Like, the more we try, and I want to show my children that too. Like my son, he lives here in Missouri still, and he says, Mom, you're just shining your light and you're sharing it with people and you're doing nothing wrong. You're doing amazing. And of course he misses me. I've been staying with him since I've been back in Missouri. Um, and I realize like, okay, I miss my family, but also like spreading my wings without having people to rely on has been way more empowering and liberating than anything I've ever done in my life.
And good for you for like following the call of your soul is literally what it is. It's like, this is what I need right now for me and my
Mhm.
daughter. And this is what I need at this moment in time. And just like trusting that. And that's really what it's about, to be like heart and soul led and to live that life. Right. And like you said, like shining your light and all of that. Like, it's just so beautiful. Like, you do very much have like, I'm getting like a gypsy soul kind of thing. And I love it.
Yeah, that's what I kept telling myself. Like everyone thought I was like joining a cult or losing my mind. You're going to live in the desert in a tent. They're like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "You don't understand. It's a calling. We
Yeah.
did have some friends that bought property out there that invited us to help build their campground. And so
Mhm.
originally I was like kind of just working on their campground and helping build it and do that. And I told myself, well, what do I do for money? I'll just clean houses. I'm really good at that and I'll do that. And the universe was like, no, honey, you're not going to do that. And I never cleaned houses there in Arizona. It's been all the other things outside of what I thought. And it's been fun. It's been freeing. I've helped, the most I've done is like help organize somebody and, even done some energy sessions with people and with horses and women and like guiding and just sharing what I've learned. I was an addict at a young age. I was raised by an addict mother and an alcoholic father who was kind of not there. And I just realized that the people sometimes that we want to rely on the most, they're not able to be there for us because they're not there for their self. And that's
Yeah.
okay. Like we get to be that parent for ourselves as well as like I'm breaking generational curses, girl. These are not passed down to my children.
Yeah. Yes, that is. I think a lot of solo moms actually, that is their journey, is like breaking these generational curses. And I think that's why there's like such an influx in like solo parents in the world, it seems. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's the thing is like some people just stay in relationships because of comfort zones. And I'm a Taurus. I love comfort. Don't get me wrong. I'm a comfort girl, but
Mhm.
I also have that stubborn side that works for me. And when I see something I want, I go for it. And I don't take no for an answer. And like, I put these blinders on. I'm like, I can't
Yeah.
see anything outside of what my goal is. And mostly my goal has been very childlike and joyful. And I don't know. I just want to spread that love and light to everyone and let people know that you can do anything you set your mind to. And really, it's our mind that gets in our way that tells us otherwise.
It is. It's our mind and like perceived limitations that like stand in the way from us really achieving our goals and what it is that we want. And I find like the more that we share that with people, like you were saying, people are like, are you crazy? Are you joining a cult? Like, what are you doing? Kind of thing. Like, the more we take on their own limitations as well. But like, good for you for like standing in your truth and being like, no, this is what I want to do. Right. Um, so I think that's very, very beautiful. But
Yeah.
um I was just curious, like your first marriage you said was very amicable after. And so like after your second marriage, like there was obviously like do you have anything to do like with your partner or like it was obviously very different than the first one?
Yeah. So we were so young with the first one, and we came together and co-parented very well. And
Mhm.
then I got with my second husband, and there was like, they kind of had their own thing, right? Like, I feel like my first husband was still in love with me, and my second husband, they had this like ego thing towards each other. And that was really the main thing that got in the way. So when I
Okay.
divorced my second husband, um, he was nice to me when he was single, but if he got with somebody, it was like he was the same person he was to his ex-wife when he was with me. And I knew that it was a pattern I had seen repeated. I was with him for so long, I noticed it. And he has been, let's see, we've been divorced 6 years. So he has been single for quite a while now. And we are not as close. We co-parent, but it's kind of very lax, right? Like we did our divorce on our own. And he gave me permission to move to Arizona. I told him like, "Hey, I want to try this and do this." And he had come from moving around a lot his whole life, and I had never. And so he knew that when we were together, like I didn't experience all these things, and he wanted our daughter to experience something. And so
Mhm.
he said, "Yeah, absolutely." Mind you, if he got mad at me or something, he would throw in my face, "Oh, you're living in a tent or you're living in a camper. Like, I could have child service, like, blah, blah, blah." Like, all just fake, like anger, emotions. And I just navigated through that. I stayed in love and heart centered,
Mhm.
and my truth. I never wavered from that. And now we get along. I drove here to Missouri so my daughter could be around family for her birthday. And she actually leaves tonight to go to her
Mhm.
dad. We've agreed, she's homeschooled, so we have a little bit of laxness with that. So she's going to his house for a couple months. It'll be the third summer that she has been away from me for that long, about 8 to 10 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, we make it work, like we
Yeah.
really do. And it's not always easy, but it is possible. And I put emotions aside a lot of the times, and I just don't take him personal when he tries to attack me or my character as a mother. I know who I am as a mother, and like the more you stand in your center, nobody outside of you can tell you otherwise.
Mhm. And that is so true. Like once you've done that inner work and that inner healing and everything, like it's easier to stand in the truth of knowing that what you did and who you are as a person, that whatever anybody else has to say, like it like just bounces off of you because you're like, I know it's my truth, right?
Yeah,
And that is a really like strong place to be and a really hard place to get to. Like that takes a
I
lot of
agree.
work and a lot of inner healing to get to that point. And like, so, and like good for you for being able to like have this flexibility and with your ex and just being able to make it work, because I know that not everybody has that privilege. Do you know what I mean? And
I
so
do. I do.
yeah.
And that was a thing like this kind of I'll go back to my first marriage and divorce. When I got with my second husband, we wanted to move away from the area that I was, originally in with my son. My ex had gotten a job opportunity about 4.5 hours, 4 hours from here at an Air Force base.
Mhm.
And my first husband was not having it. And he brought me to court, right? Like
Yeah.
he did not want me to move away. And I proved all these reasons and all of the benefits it would be. And the attorneys were like, listen, the judge is going to let her move. You might as well just agree. And the judge let me move, but I had to do all the traveling and I had to still let my son see my ex-husband for every other weekend. So, and mind you, I had a bonus child as well involved. And so we were traveling once a weekend or once a month for them. So I was traveling 3 weekends a month, sometimes up to 6 hours one way, 4 hours. For 6 years, I did that. And it was court ordered. I had no other option. Um, and it was hard. And I think
Mhm.
that situation actually helped me with moving away to Arizona with my second, ex-husband because he's seen what we went through trying to move away to better our family. And so he thought, well, Amanda's just wanting to better her family and better our daughter, and I'm just going to let her go. And that's where we never got the, courts involved in that one. So going through that first hardship helped the second one.
Mhm. Well, because you both like went through the experience together as well, right? So he was able to
Yeah.
actually like, see what you were going through and everything. So that really definitely helped your situation for sure.
It
Yes.
did, it did,
So,
and then my son was 14, and he had asked to go live with his father, his biological father, and I had a little trauma response as a mama. It broke my heart for a few minutes. It literally was just a few minutes. I caught myself, I came back to reality and was like, you're right. You're 14. You want to be with your biological father. It's a great time for a young man to be around their father. I knew my mom never let me live with my dad, no matter how much I begged and asked to. And so I allowed my son to go live with his father, and we switched it. We didn't get any courts involved. We just had our lawyer draw up the papers, and I drove back and seen him every other weekend. And then about 6 months after he moved back to Missouri with his biological father, my mommy heart just longed for my son so much that I kind of used that as the reasoning to leave my second husband, as well as like all the other little things I had been navigating. And I said, "Listen, I'm just going to move back to Missouri and be closer to Levi. My heart is longing for that." And then once I got here to Missouri, that's when I realized I actually wanted a divorce because I was away from his, aura. We weren't next to each other anymore. I realized I had outgrown some things and that I just kept dismissing, my heart's desires. And so it was beautiful because my son got to live with his biological father. And, now he actually lives in the house that me and his dad had whenever we were married. He
oh,
gave my husband I never got, took anything when I left. I just took the children in both my divorces, which was the most precious thing to me. And my first husband gave it to our son. And so now he owns the little property with the house and the 5 acres. And it really is so beautiful because while I'm staying here, I'm actually sleeping in what was his old nursery. So I'm
really?
really rewriting some old patterns and making new memories.
Yes, that's beautiful. And actually, like, I love that you say that because we really do sometimes get taken back to places where there were like not so good memories or trauma or something, and so that we can rewrite these, do the healing and rewrite and make better memories moving forward for
Mhm.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That. Um, So what do you do when your daughter's gone? Like how does that feel to you when she's gone for that long? Like that's a long time. I would
That's a
stress
long
about
time.
my girls being gone for 2 weeks. So like three
Yeah.
months is yeah, a long time.
Yeah. So I got really, the first year, I just threw myself into work. And I realized that I was numbing myself out by just working, 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 doing things that didn't even bring me joy anymore. But it was just like, let me save all this money, let me waste all this time. Last year, I got a little depressed. I did do some things for myself, but I also kind of had a little mommy dark night of the soul, where I realized what is my identity? Who am I outside of the ego of being a mother?
Yeah.
And I really got to dive deep into that for myself. Um, and I've emotionally numbed myself out with cannabis for many years. And back in February, my guides told me to put it down, and I did. And so I've really been processing and rewriting my nervous system and old programs. So this summer, this time, I'm still going to work, obviously. I have, some things that I've already set up, but it's just going to be kind of like falling back in love with myself again. And who am I outside of any of the mother responsibilities? My daughter she's always going to need me because of her disabilities and her differences. Like that will never change. But also she needs to be independent in her own ways. And how else can I show her that if I'm not doing that for myself? So I've got some things up my sleeve. I'm about to be shining my own light this summer and showing off
Mhm.
some of my own learnings and stuff to help guide other people, as well as like I'm going to be doing a lot of hiking and camping and just being back in nature. So,
I love that. And you like 100%. We put so much of our time and our emphasis and like just the whole, you know, role of being a mother into our identity that like outside of that, it's like, who am I actually now though? And I feel that like because with like with my youngest graduating right now, it's like, okay, and now what?
yeah.
Right now what am I doing with my life and who am I? And I love that you're just like diving into that this summer and really focusing on self-love and all of that kind of stuff. Like I'm
Yeah.
excited wait to
I'm
hear
so
more about
excited
your journey.
too. I know. It's like I knew I wanted to be a mom my whole life. Even my
Oh
dad
my
told
god,
me,
me too.
I knew you were
Yeah.
going to be a mom. When they asked us in kindergarten, what are you going to be when you grow up? And I said, a mommy. I remember writing a mommy with babies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything has always been a child to me. Like I would take care of other people's children, and I love fur babies, and I love just being a mother to nature and to just everything. And so I knew that was always my heart's desire. And so when I became a mom the first time, it was, beautiful. And then the second time was lovely. And then I have a bonus child who we have such a great relationship that he came out to Arizona last April and seen me. And I had
Mhm.
not seen him in like 4 years before that since our divorce. And then he just left yesterday from visiting me here while I'm in Missouri. And so I think that shows through my love, and the people that I've mothered in my life feel that. And so we got to be a mother to ourselves. It's kind of ironic that I'm going through a process of letting go of my own biological mother, because her addictions have just always been a part of her life, more important. And it's not been easy, but I need to love myself and mother myself, and not like try to give that away to somebody. So,
And that's literally part of the journey is like reparenting that inner child and like giving them the nurturing and care and love and tenderness that they needed right in those moments of time. And I find that so it's easier to give it to other people than it is to ourselves, right?
this
Yeah.
is so true, girl. That's where I'm realizing this summer is the heat is on. I am firing my pot. I am making that thing sturdy. I've got the clay and the mud and I've already formed myself, but now I get to really fire myself and make it like hard and structural so that I can hold the clear waters for myself. So,
Mhm. Mhm. I love how you just like described all of that. That was so beautiful. So
yeah,
beautiful.
we're the
So
potter, right?
yeah. Do you do pottery?
I don't. I've never,
You
but I
don't?
have. I live in a town that is known for all the art and
Yes.
history, and there's a pottery place in town, so maybe I should do that.
It'd be something to get into. You never know.
You never know, yeah.
You never know. I just wanted to share with everybody, like, I know we kind of followed each other on social media before, but that we like actually met in real life at
Yeah,
at the Liberate Her conference in Nashville this past year, which was like absolutely amazing.
it was amazing. I'm looking forward to this November
Are
as
you
well.
are you going to the one in November this year?
I already
That's
got my
exciting.
tickets. I got
Oh,
VIP
that's
this year. I'm
awesome.
going all out.
Yeah. I actually I don't know. I wasn't called to go this year, but I've actually had another opportunity come up that, and I'm like, well, I guess that's why, like, that I wasn't meant to go to Liberate Her again. So I have another
Yeah.
conference that I'm going to be going to. So very excited
Okay.
about it.
I
Yeah.
love that.
But Liberate Her
I'm
really
going to just
opened.
gather a little more information. Like when I went last year, I felt like I had already done all of the things and I had already felt in alignment. I didn't have a lot of shifts per se,
Yeah.
but since January, since I have actually got signed up for the VIP, I've had so many shifts. So I
Oh,
know that this is necessary for me. Because I've already, what'd she say, like, burn it all down, ruin your life. I had already done that when I got there last year. I had
right.
already done that. I had already left the marriage. I had already moved to the desert. I had already sold everything and did all that. And so now I know it's a part of like knowing my worth and
Mhm.
accepting and attracting that in the financial aspect because
Mhm.
boy, my inner world is so abundant, but your girl's bank
Receiving.
account is not so much. So
Well, that's the receiving thing, right?
I'm
We can
learning the
feel
receiving
abundant.
thing,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
I had acupuncture, and the acupuncturist said, girl, you're so good at receiving from the heavens, but you're blocked from receiving from earth. And
Yeah.
it blew my mind and my heart wide open. And she said, you're the empress. You need to be receiving and just know that you're worthy the way that you are. And I've been unfolding all of that information since.
Mhm. Yeah. That's like when you are this solo mom and you're that like kind, nurturing soul that wants to like give to everybody else and nurture everybody else and take care of everybody else, it gets to be really hard to receive. But it's like you also like, and that's why I always say you have to give to yourself first and foremost, right?
Yeah.
So that you're giving from an overflowing cup too. But it's interesting that you bring this up because I've had like when I was working a market like a couple weeks ago, one of the things that was coming up was like feeling worthy in general, right? And being worthy to receive and that kind of stuff. And I don't know why I'm being called to share this, but it was like I asked the people, and I've shared this before, where it was like when you're like when your baby is born, they can do nothing for you. Nothing, right? And you're still like you take care of them and you still love them the same, right? And all of that. And it's like you're still that baby. Like you don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to prove your worth. You don't need to prove like, what you can do and give to people and all of that kind of stuff. And you're still worthy of receiving because you exist, right? It's the whole because you exist and because you're here, right? And
Yeah.
we really fall into that in regards to like with society. Then it's like, well, you have to like you get a gold star if you do this good, and if you like get good grades in school, then you like, and that's where it all starts, and that's where we lose that whole sense of receiving, and that it's safe to
Wow.
receive, it's okay to, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a performance level. I got to perform to
exactly.
receive. and
Hmm.
then also not feeling like ever that your performance is good enough, right? And
Right. Yeah.
that's not been the case. I understand that because I feel inside of
Mhm.
me, but energetically,
It,
I have blocked myself and accepted that.
mhm. No, and I think we all do at one point in time. And I think that's the whole relearning thing as well, right? That it's okay for us to receive. Um, yeah. Yeah. So
And
is there
not
anything
knowing what
else?
that looks like, right? Because
Well,
we
the
want to
whole
like say, how
surrender.
does it look like? Yeah,
Right. The
survival
whole
mode is a whole thing.
It is. Oh, absolutely. Like you just get into like making things happen day after day after day that you are in survival mode and you don't even realize it at some point in time, right? Um, and then yeah, then you just wake up and you're like, this is not working anymore.
Yeah, it's not working no more. Sorry, I
Mhm.
got dogs going crazy.
I'm always worried that my dog is going to go crazy while I'm on my podcast. And sometimes
Yeah.
I think she does. I don't actually remember if she has or hasn't, but
Yeah,
that's just
I'm
life.
dog sitting, so I'm like, oh, they go crazy if like something moves around. And
Hmm. So, is there anything else you want to share before we kind of wrap this up today? Any words of
just
wisdom to our
that,
soul
like,
moms?
yeah, I just feel like be your own best friend, right? Like be the mother that you mother to your children. And just know that you got it. You know, if you've made it 100% of the crazy days this far, you're doing pretty good. Give yourself some credit, you know?
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, because like it's not everybody's journey is the same. And that's why, I
Yeah.
wanted to do this series for solo moms and stuff because I know that there's a lot of moms out there that are struggling with like what it's supposed to look like. And the thing is like it's not supposed to look like a two-parent household. It can't. And we try so hard to like hold ourselves to the expectations of a two-parent household. And I think that's where we end up getting like burnt out and tired and exhausted and like living in that survival mode, right? Not to mention carrying like the weight emotionally for ourselves and our kids as well, right?
Wow, that is very true. Yeah, because it's not like you can just take a break. It doesn't
No,
work that way.
yeah. No, and that's exactly it. And like even though your daughter is not with you right now, like there's still that connection, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's with me right now, but like yeah,
Oh,
tonight
sorry,
she's
before she leaves, yeah.
yeah, she
Or
leaves
when she leaves,
tonight
I
and
should
she's
say.
already keeps telling me, "Mom, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you." And don't get me wrong, that little girl blows my phone up every day, all day. So even when she's not with me, she is with me. And like
Yeah.
you said, the mother, the connection, like just because the umbilical cord is cut does not mean that the energetic cords are cut.
That is exactly it. That is so, so true for sure.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and also, like you said, the comparison, right? The comparison is a theft of joy. We can't compare to each other. My situation is nothing like yours, and vice versa. And everyone just needs to like meet their self right where they're at, you know?
Hmm. And honor your journey for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
love
we get people like us who can help guide each other and talk each
that.
other
Exactly.
through it, you know? I'm grateful for you and our meeting and yeah, our social media friendship and whatever comes in the future as well. You can come visit me in Arizona and I'll come visit you
Yes.
there in Canada,
I'm not
right?
sure you want to come here. It's cold.
It's all, it's okay. In Arizona, sometimes I miss the cold. I go up on the mountain just to get some cold.
You do. I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much, love, for this
Thank
interaction. And I
you.
am so grateful for you and coming on and
I'm
sharing your
grateful for you.
success today and all your beautiful wisdom.
Yeah.
And I'm sending you so much love and blessings to everyone. Take care.